Okay. Let's get right into today's topic. Amiasblu, as I am, as you are. Okay, today's topic is based upon what is this thing we call or know as L.o.v.e, or what is love? What is this love thing? And we're going to take it according to the perception and understanding of ancient science, ancient technology, and how the elders and the ancestors actually understood what this energy was truly about and what it was truly pertaining to and what it truly meant. And as we go along, you will see that it's not really based upon what you may have thought it was based upon. 1 second. Okay. So of course, you know the procedure. We take it line for line, doorway after doorway, and as these lines and doorways proceed, I open up a one-liners, and from these one-liners, our channel will comes to me, and we build upon from that point forward. All right, so let's get into it. The first doorway is love, something that resides inside of you. This thing that we call love will identify as love or recognize as love is something that resides inside of you. And this is what you have to understand first and foremost and ultimately. It's something that resides inside of you, not outside of you, not amongst another or amongst others. It's something that is within you. It's something that is private, which is yours. It's secure by you. It's within you. And basically for the very fact that the thing happens within you. What you know or call as love or identify as love is something, an energy or a presence is something that happens within you and it resides within you because you are the one going through that experience or going through that presence of this energy, which is a fact, it's obvious. Okay, so it's something which resides within you and it's something that is inside of you, not outside of you, inside of you. Okay, my whole point while I'm clarifying this and making this more clearer and clearer, because you have to understand that it is you. It is not hers, it's not his, it's not Tom, Dick, and Harry, Jane, Beth, and Jill. No, this is all about you. This is your experience. This is all yours. Learn how to handle what is yours first and foremost, ultimately. Okay. The next doorway is it's something that cannot be shared. Love or L.o.v.e is something that cannot be shared. I can't share my love with you. You can't share your love with me. My love is mine within me and it's mine. Your love is within you and it's yours. You can't share your love with me. I can't share what's mine with you because it's within me. Stay on track because it's somewhere I'm going with this. So understand, you have to understand it because it is yours and it's only yours. It's your own private experience unfolding and unraveling within you. It's unfolding and unraveling within you. Not within her or within him or within them. It's within you. I'm bringing this more closer and closer to home to keep what we call L.o.v.e local. It's not something which is distant. It's something which is local. It's immediate. It's right here, right now, inside, within. Okay, let's keep it here. Let's keep it here. Right here. This is where L.o.v.e is at. And this is where it's always been at, where it resides at. This is it. Okay? So let's go on to the next line, next doorway. The next line, next doorway is it's something that has to be activated and woken up. It has to be woke up and activated within you. It's something, this L.o.v.e thing is something that has to be activated and woke up or awoken through the medium of interactions and interfacing with others and other things around you that you come in contact with, or that come in contact or acquaintance with you. So it's something that, if you want to say sleep or dormant, or potential, pure potential, waiting to be activated through the possibility of interaction or interfacing with people or things. It's something inside of you that needs to be activated and woken up. And even when it's activated and woken up, it remains within you, not amongst another or with another. It's something that remains inside of you. It's an experience that you are having personally and privately within yourself. Okay? All right. And this basically means it gets activated and woken up by you coming in contact with things, or things coming in contact with you. And in that interaction and that interfacing, personalities meet, certain behavior, certain character, a projection starts to happen. And through this, something happens, which is what we call L.o.v.e. Something happens, and then something is activated. But if it's activated, it means that it's always been within you and always resided within you. Always. There's never a point in your life or a moment in your life that this did not reside within you. It needed the proper chemistry alignment, mental alignment, and proper interaction for it to be activated and woken up. Then all of a sudden, you're in love. Yeah, you are in love, because love is in you, not in another, or the other, or them, or they. No, you're in love. Why? Because love is in you. That's why. Okay? You can only be in that which is in you. Understand that. Remember, this whole point is to keep this L.o.v.e thing local and immediate. Here, now. Nowhere else but here, in here. This is where it's at. This is where it happens. This is the experience right here. Not outside, inside. Okay, let's move on to the next line, the next doorway. The next line of the doorway is, it is a contact or contacting with the soul or solar forces. Basically, what I'm saying is, it is the most innate aspect of you, because it affects you at your most deepest core. It can throw your health this way, it can throw your health that way, it can throw your mind this way, it can throw your mind that way. It's a possession. It's something at its most deepest innate core. And once you understand the levels besides the 5 astral bodies that come out of that kind of emanate from this body, or this orbital field of embodiment. You have, of course, they say the feeling body or emotional body, the astral body, and you have different levels of bodies. But when you start, instead of going out and protruding, when you start to recede, you have body, and then you have spirit, which animates the body, because what's animating me right now is spirit. And then you have soul, or the solar forces, which is the most innate aspect of you. And this is something that, when this L.o.v.e thing happens, and it can affect you in the most devastating way or the most blissful way, it means that it's most innate within you. It's deep within you. It's a deep, reaching the deepest core within you, which means, like I said, it can affect your health. It can affect your mentality. It can determine your death as much as your life, because it is a deep thing, and the deepest thing behind the body, receding behind inside the spirit, is the soul. So this waking up thing, or this activating thing that can determine your body, the spirit, the way the spirit animates, the way the body's health and mind is, has to be something deeper beyond the spirit. Beyond means before. Understand, in metaphysics, what we know as beyond, people think is further and further. No, beyond is prior and prior and prior and prior to, until it gets to this most least common denomination of self. So what we know as spirituality is a receding process. One layer falls, the next layer falls, the next layer falls, the next layer falls, the next layer falls, until you find out, what is that nothing that I truly am? What is that empty? What is that zero? That zero, what we know as, and what we can identify as far as energy identifications, is soul, or the solar forces, which you are composed with. Okay, so if it can affect you that deep, at that deepest of your core, it is a coming in contact, or a contacting of your soul, or your solar force, which gives birth to the animation of the spirit, which animates the physical body that we know as human. Okay, let's understand. Okay, the next line on next doorway is, run through this a little quick, not too quick, at its own pace. This is L.o.v.e. is when you radiate, emanate, and illuminate. You draw things to you like a moth drawn to a light. See, love is it's like an internal generator, or a generation of light. That's why in relationships, when an example of relationships, to really find something or find someone, is to never find something or to find someone, but it's actually to become found and discovered. To become found and discovered. What does that mean? Well, I just told you. When you are in L.o.v.e, because L.o.v.e is within you, and it's activated, it's blossoming, it's opening, it's unraveling, it's unfolding as these processes, or this progressing happens and occurs. You begin to radiate, you begin to emanate, you begin to illuminate, and as these things happen, you automatically become noticed spiritually through others, energy-wise through others. That's why I said love is like an internal generating, a generation of light, a generating of lights. You are generating a certain kind of light code outward from the inward, which you don't see, which maybe others don't see like that, but they may pick up something. There's a signal that's picking up something about you that others may feel and don't know why they know it, and may sense it about you, that you may even not pick up and understand what's going on about you, that others may be recognizing and realizing about you from the outside in, while you're just emanating, generating, and illuminating and radiating from the inside out. And this is what true love is, what true L.o.v.e is. What ancient Egyptian ancestors, dealing with the ancient technology of mind and body and energy and life and death, dealing with the studies and fields of thanatology, called this ma'at, or the balance, or the eye of Ra, love. Ma'at, balance. This wasn't loving and balancing with another. This is the balance within you, and the love opening inside of you, which just means being true to you. This is what love is. You being true to you. You being true to your intentions, to your agenda, to what you have in mind. And in doing so, this leaves a clear mind, a clear heart, and clear energy around you for you to follow your path and to continue your mission, whatever mission it may be. It's not a human purpose, it's a divine purpose. Okay, this is what the whole loving thing was about. So when you think in relationship wise, I'm trying to look for somebody, I'm trying to look for something, you know, I don't know why nothing is happening, because you're not supposed to be looking. You're supposed to be seen. You're supposed to be witnessed. You're supposed to be realized and recognized by another or by others. And others or another draws to you, like I said in the example, like a moth is drawn to a light. That's why to find something is to never truly look, is to become found and discovered. Okay? So we go to the next thing. The next line or next doorway is this thing we call L.o.v.e. is a private experience. Private experience. A private experience which is seen or witnessed within a society as a public expression or expressing of oneself. So it's a private experience. It's personal. It's all you. It's all within you. It's all in you. It's internal. It's innate. It's insidious. It's within you. Okay? It's very private. Something that's happening within you that maybe you may not even be able to articulate or explain or define or describe. It's something that deep. Something that may make you chaotic or crazy-minded or confused, or you get into this certain kind of chaos and schism within self, and you don't understand what's really happening within you. You think it's because of her or it's because of him. No, these people were activators, which is why you become activated, because these individuals were activators, or maybe a beautiful flower or nature or a beautiful animal or a beautiful sky or color of the outside at the moment. Whatever may be happening at that moment, that you start to feel things blossoming within you, there's different levels of depth within this. You got scenery, which is nature, animals, embracing certain things, caring about certain things. Then you have relationships. You have emotional turmoil, which is nothing but a breaking of the ego or a annihilation of the personality and this person that you think you are in the mirror, or this image that you see right now on a camera, which is not really me. I'm actually hidden in plain sight. What you're seeing is not me. What you're seeing is a personality which this being, which is untitled and unnamed, has created in this experience from its foundation of its own existence. Who you know right now as amiasblu does not exist, and amiasblu will meet its point of destruction. This entity right now in front of you will meet its point of physical destruction, because I am a creator and I am a destroyer at the same time. I create this personality, have this experience, and then I destroy this personality and obliterate this experience. But I always will recede back to my point of where it began and where I began, my own beginning, which is my true existence. Okay? Experience and existence are two totally different things. The experience is the structure. Existence is the foundation. Structures can get destroyed. Foundations remain. Okay? So basically, it's a private experience which is seen or witnessed within a society as a public expression of you, or an expressing that you are doing, or an expressing of oneself, how they're expressing themselves due to this experience they're having within them. Okay? Or this phenomenal experience they're having within them, that they are expressing and animating on the outside, and others see it and they witness it. Something is happening within you, but what is happening within that individual? They're drawn to you like a moth is drawn to a light. Okay? So let's move on to the next line, the next doorway. What is L.o.v.e? Let's get a little more deeper. The next line of doorway is, it is a platform or platforming or plateau that one gets elevated to, elevated onto, and elevated into. It's levels of self. So L.o.v.e, the more deeper it becomes, the more you are getting to the most deepest levels of yourself. Okay? It's something that you enter into, and ultimately find yourself potentially on top of, above, elevating from, or suspending from. You can only go into that which is actually inside of you. Okay? You find yourself going into deeper levels within yourself, that of this deepest level that is within you. You can only go into that which is into you. Okay? So it's a platform or platforming or a plateau, because you become on top of things, you become wise to things. See, you become wise to certain situations and certain things going on around you, become conscious around you. Become more aware of your surroundings and your environment and your atmosphere and people and people's ways, people's actions, even your own ways, your own actions, your own ways of thinking, your own ways of being and doing. So when I say platform, platforming, or a plateau, this is not meant for the ego to grab this understanding, because it's going to say, oh yeah, I'm special, I'm mighty, I'm strong, I'm smart, I'm brilliant, I'm genius, I'm more, I'm this and I'm that. Don't let it get there. This is for the heart to understand. So it's a platform, platforming, or plateau that one gets elevated to, elevated onto, and elevated into. See, so this is an elevation of some sort of understanding, an elevation of self, from ignorance, from his own ignorance to his own wisdom, to his own understanding, to his own knowledge of self. This once again is an experience which is happening within you. It's something happening within you that was woken up. It was activated through something happening on the outside. Something happening on the outside, something happening mentally, something even happening emotionally that made it activate. And when it started to activate, it started to radiate and then emanate and then illuminate. You see? But once again, it's all happening and generating inside of you. So if it's generating and happening inside of you, you have to make sure and be responsible that no matter who or what you interact with on the outside, you better always be willing to pull that back inside yourself. Never go too far away from yourself, because you will lose yourself. And losing yourself begins chaos, but chaos is not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just a thing. But it becomes more and more challenging for you to uphold yourself if you want to play in that field. Okay? Maintain sanity and sentiments of self-balance, of course, as always, in all ways. Okay. The next line or doorway is, it is the illusion making contact with its own reality. So basically, it's like the outer circle making contact with its centered dot. So it's an outside thing triggering an inside thing. The outside thing, as we know, everything outside is an illusion. It's not real. It's all fake. It's all virtual reality, whatever you want to call it. Okay, but that outside illusion is now making contact with this inside reality. So this happening becomes like a joining of some sort. It joins. So it's a meshing. It's an infusion. It's a cohesion of some sort. Because once that happens, you can't pull too far, because now you already know. Once you know, you cannot unknow anymore. What the ancestors said, once you leave home, you cannot return back home, because once you try to return back home, you turn around and you see that bridge has burned. So you can't cross that bridge anymore because it burned. There's no bridge there anymore. What you gonna cross back to? There's no more bridge. You have became aware now, knowledgeable of self. Once you leave home, you can't return back home. Once you leave ignorance and you're wise to things, if you continue to do ignorant shit while you're wise to things, you will pay for it, because now you have become responsible. Your awareness is true and divine responsibility. Don't curse yourself. Reverse yourself. Receive spirituality. Okay. The next line in doorway is, it is a falling of one into a dimension. Dimension Definition of dimension is just a reality which has depth, length, and width. So L.o.v.e. It's a falling of one, falling of someone, somebody, into an unknown dimension. This is what love is. This is what L.o.v.e. is. You're in love. You're falling into a dimension. This is what's happening within the experience happening within you. This experience is happening within you. As this experience begins to radiate and emanate, it begins to form a translucent or transparent orb around your primary orb. And now you are in a dimension. You are in a certain kind of reality. And this reality now has a certain kind of length, width, and it definitely has a certain kind of depth, which is why you find yourself deep in this feeling at your deepest core, making contact with its own deepest core. It's a certain kind of depth. It's a dimension. Love is a dimension. Love is a dimension. It's an experience you have that happens within you that emanates, radiates, and illuminates outward. As it happens, as it gets more outward, if it becomes this transparent or translucent globe or globing thing or globe-like thing that globes the orbit which you primarily are having an experience within. And then you look around, up and down, and you find yourself deep within this dimension that we call L.o.v.e. which is only happening within you. Not with her and him and them and they, within you. This is private. Make sure that you understand that this is a personal thing that is happening within you. And you keep it there. Keep it within you. Okay? Don't let it come out of you. Keep it within you. Okay, the next line of doorway is, it is an unknown entering you are welcomed into. And basically, for the very fact that you switch right into that gear so easily and unexpectedly. What does that mean? That means that it's open arms. It's something that you were always welcomed into but didn't know that you were welcomed into. It's an unknown entering. You enter into this unknown zone, to this unknown dimension of self. Cranberry. Clean out self. So that's why I said, for the very fact that you switch, something happens that makes you switch right into that gear so easily, but yet so unexpectedly, so spontaneously, so surprisingly. You just happen to get right into that. Something happened within you that made you easily switch into that gear with no problem. And you don't even know how the hell it happened. It just happened. It just happens. Okay? The next line of doorway is, it is something that one needs to surrender to and submit to, that ultimately seeks your permission for itself to be. Understand that it is, so you are, and vice versa. It is its own permission to become. So it's something that you need to surrender to and submit to. The more you fight it, the more you know nothing of it. But don't get me wrong, even going or resisting it ultimately will have you surrender to it, because you are a life force, and two things cannot occupy this one spot. Once love is, you are not. So once love is here, you're gone. Your personality, who and what you think you are, is dead. Because two things cannot occupy one spot. So once you become taken over and possessed by this love or this L.o.v.e. thing that happens within you, you're gone. And once you're gone, it is. And it's here now. and it ain't going anywhere. So until you surrender to it and submit to it, you're not going anywhere. And you won't get to know anything. So fight it all you want, resist it all you want if you want to waste your time and your energy and your mind. That's on you. But it is here now. And you have to surrender. To learn of it is to surrender to it. Okay? To bow down to it, to be at the feet of it. To become defeated. To accept you're defeated. Accept that you are defeated. But it's funny because as soon as you become defeated, then you become the winner. Remember, this is a realm paradoxical realities based on, it's very reciprocal. As soon as this happens, if you just know what to do with the middle. When you come in contact with this phenomenon that occurs and happens within you. As you, of you. Okay, the next line of the doorway is, it is potential to transform into a new reality with a different perception. So L.o.v.e, when it happens within you, it is potential to transform into a new reality with a different perception. This is what L.o.v.e is. This is not based relationship-wise. This is not based amongst two people. This is based within yourself. L.o.v.e, when it happens within you, it is potential to transform into a new reality with a different perception. It is a life-changing experience. It alters your life. It changes your life completely. Every time this thing happens within you, every time it's activated and woken up within you, every time it happens, you have potential to transform your whole reality right in front of your eyes. And as you do it right in front of your eyes, you receive a different perception. So all you have to do is claim your gift and become your treasure. Okay? It's that simple. Okay? The next doorway, the next line in doorway is, it is a level of self-annihilation and obliteration. Self-annihilation and obliteration. This is what L.o.v.e is. It is basically to putrefy and to purify. So what I mean by that is it's vanishing the strength, the holding, and the influence of the personality which you think that you are. It's vanishing the strength, the hold, and the influence of the personality that you think you are. Why? To bring about the principle which its own existence stands on and platforms on. This is why you go through several chaotic stages within you as you're going through this whole L.o.v.e experience that you think is you're having with another or sharing with somebody else, but it's actually going on inside of you. See, the brain and the heart has two different purposes. When the heart's going through something, the brain has to learn to mind its business. It has nothing to do with what's going on inside of here. And you have to be the one responsible to create that suspension. When something is going on here, do not let this involve itself in here. This has nothing to do with what's going on in here. But when something happens in here, this starts to try to get nosy and butt in to what's happening here. So when something is happening here, this starts to click a little bit and say, wait, hold on, something is happening there. I have to make sure this entity or this life force is paying attention to me. And it starts to butt into something that has nothing to do with it. It needs to mind its own business when something is going on here. This has nothing to do with it. Which is why you start going insane. But I love her, but I love him. But she's the love of my life, but he's the love. I can't breathe without him. I'm going to die without him. You start becoming crazy, insane, psychologically imbalanced, emotionally imbalanced. You start losing yourself, losing your mind. See what I'm saying? Or not having hold of your mind, but letting the chemistry and the chemicals in your brain go crazy and run the whole party and the whole mess and run rampant. While this is just pure. It's staying true to itself. And it wants to stay true to itself without the distraction and interference of this. The brain, not the mind, the brain. Like I always told you, the mind is a free thing. The brain is an entrapped thing which only can think entrapped. It can only think the end. It can only think death. It can only think, breakups and ending. Because the brain is a part of the body and the body dies, and so the brain goes with it. That's why when you start to think, oh, this is going to end, it's going to be over. I'm scared. I'm feeling trapped within myself. This is how to decipher when you're thinking when you are being the heart and when you're thinking with your brain. And when something is happening here, do not let this interfere. Okay? So the next line of doorway is, not too many more. Making love is where the soul gets to interact with the physical reality. Just like the lungs are where the breath validates its existence and purpose in this physical reality. Okay, so remember, at the same time, what we see that is seen, something that is seen is interacting, is validating something that is unseen, that is benefiting off that seen interaction or that physical interaction. Something which is non-physical is validating itself in a non-physical existence through the physical experience that two people are having or two individuals may be having. Okay, so sometimes people say ejaculation or orgasm is when it happens. That is what we know or identify as heaven. That is what heaven feels like, to be in that eternal blissful state. That's why it feels the way it feels when it happens. It's undescribable. You can try to describe it and put it into words and poetry, but ultimately it is undescribable, which is why you put it in so many words and so many different pieces of literature and so many different poems, because you're trying to trap something in a word which cannot be described or defined or trapped within the word. It cannot be boxed, which is why, like I said, there's so many different things trying to describe this blissful, this euphoric, this phenomenal, pleasant experience or feeling that happens at that moment, but it cannot be described or defined or explained. According to the ancestors, our ancestors, they said that feeling that you feel at the point of ejaculation or at a woman's orgasm is what heaven feels like. So heaven just means a blissful state, or blissful experience. So making love, when two people are making love, two physical things are interacting, inserting, becoming one, two puzzle pieces fitting perfectly together. When that click happens and that contact is made, that is where the soul interacts with itself. While this connection is there, the soul interacts because the connection is made, the signal is hit, the signal is given, and the contact, divine contact, is made while the physical contact is going on. And if it's done properly and in alignment and in synchronicity with each other, it is a divine purpose, which means that your divinity now comes into play. Your deity of what you are, the God that you truly are, gets to meet. Okay? Of course, through the human plasma and the spermatozoa and everything else, and the egg, and whatever happens at its liquid state, its physical state, plasma, things of that nature, blood, DNA, biological, dealing with biological terminology. Okay, but it's more of a spiritual purpose. Okay, the next line of doorway is when being in love and of love, one wants to be in full expression of oneself with no boundaries put upon it while expressing itself. So when someone is in love and of love, they are in full expression of their self. And they don't wish to have any boundaries put upon them while they're expressing themselves fully. They're expressing themselves mentally, they're expressing themselves sexually, they're expressing themselves physically. They're in full animation, full expression. And when this happens, you have to be open and receiving of the gift and the treasure that is coming to you because you were the one that activated that love inside of them. So if you activated a love inside of them and they tell you that they love you, which, of course, I'm not going to go out, that's already told you. They care about you deeply. Love is within them. That's happening within them. And whatever is happening within them is what they can say that they have with you, but it's actually within them. But they're just expressing themselves in some form, in some way, so that you get the understanding and the message of what they're going through and what they're emanating towards you, if they choose to direct it that way. But if you have somebody fall in love with you, you are now responsible to be receptive of that gift now that comes towards you. You now have to be with open arms. Constantly. Constantly. You have to have open arms. All the time. Because their soul and their spirit, their soul is giving to you. Their spirit is animating from the giving of the soul, and the human expression is being conveyed to you. You have to be receiving and receptive all the time, anytime, every time, of when this expression is coming towards you. You are responsible for opening up within them, or for being the catalyst or the incentive or the activator to help them or to guide them to open that up within their self. Now you have to be receiving. And it's very important because they're expressing their true nature to you. Why would not you want to receive this? Because in turn, it also does something within you as well. But you won't get to know that until you become completely receiving and receptive of this expression, which is expressing itself towards you, directed to you. Okay? So let them and let it express itself and their self to you and towards you with no boundaries on their expression towards you. Okay? Something that's happening within them, and you understand that. You have to be respectful of that. Absolutely respectful of that. It's very, 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 very important that you be that for them. And if that happens within you, they have to be that for you as well. Overall. Okay? The next line of doorway is, it is to acknowledge principle and cater to it. L.o.v.e, that happens within you. It means that to acknowledge the principle that you are and to cater to that principle that you are. Not the person or the personal or the personality that you are, but to the principle which you are. This is what L.o.v.e means. So basically is deliver that which delivers you. If it delivered you the awakening of L.o.v.e or love, deliver back to that which delivered you that, because it is you and you are it. There is nothing outside of this cipher or this circle or this orbit of self. This is you. So if it woke you up to that degree, you keep it awoke. If it showed itself in the potential or the realm of potential, make sure to keep it within that state of its own potential, because that is where it's most potent at. Okay? The next line in doorway is, to experience L.o.v.e. means it is time to be true to your truth and your calling and your path. This is what this means. And it's going to be something that you're going to see, which is something outside of common sense. It's something outside of rational thinking. It's something outside of your logic, because it just happens, You don't know, it just happens. This is not something that you planned. It's not something that the brain can see when it's going to happen. It's something that just happens within you. And like I said, the heart means being true to your truth, not being true to your marriage, or being true to your relationship, or being true to your partnership, or being true to your companionship, or being true to him, or being true to her, or being true to them, or being true to they. No. Cut all that out. It's about you being true to you. You being true to your truth. You being true to your calling, and you being true to your path. That is what L.o.v.e. means, according to our ancestors, which had less distraction, interferences as far as dealing with media, Hallmark cards, love songs, love movies, love commercials, holidays, all these fake images telling you what love is. Love her, love him, love them. Anything and everything to keep you from you. It's saying be involved with this, be involved with that, be like them, act like them, love like them, care like her, care like him. This is how you show love. This is what being in love means. It's garbage. It has nothing to do with nothing. These are just things to keep you further and further and further and further and further from here. This is where it starts at. This is where it resides at. This is where it ends at. Okay? The next line in doorway is, L.o.v.e. is another you that yourself finds itself within. Like the way I wrote that, like that. It's another you that yourself finds itself within. What you mean it's another you, another me? Well, it happens within you, right? So obviously it is another you, or an other. Because another just means an other. And if you say an other, that means that it is of you. Other just means something that you are, just an other of your oneness. So it's another you that yourself finds itself within. When I told you that is within you, you find yourself within that. Or you find yourself within that thing that is within yourself. Okay? Don't get too confused with the wordplay, because it actually makes a lot of sense once you break it down and take time to think about what I'm saying. You can pause the video if you want to. Take a few seconds, a few minutes to understand what I'm saying before you press play again. Alright? Okay. Just a reminder. About 2 or 3 more. That's about it. The next line of doorway is, L.o.v.e. is looking into the eye of your mate. Looking into the eye of your mate is looking into the I. So looking into the I, EYE, of your mate is actually looking into the I, capital letter I. So looking into the EYE is actually looking into the capital letter I, which is why the word I and the letter I sound the same, because it is the same. Why do you think you two have black pupils in the middle of your iris? It can be your iris can be any color, brown, blue, green, gray, whatever you want to call it. But there's always a black pupil in the middle of your iris. Because it is it looking into the I, capital letter I, of itself. So no matter who you think you're looking at, you're actually looking at yourself. It is the I looking into the I, as in the I am or the am I. I am I am. See, this is an extension of where all this came from, which is why this entity is amiasblu. Am I as I am. Amiasblu. It is the am I. The I am is the am I, and the am I is the I am. So when I look into your eye, I'm looking into my I. Not my I. This is the whole point. Okay? So basically, it's the looking into yourself, or the looking of the looker into itself. The looking into, if I'm looking into you, I'm looking at you, I'm looking into you. I'm not really looking at you, I'm looking into you. It's the looking into yourself. When I look at you, I'm looking into myself. Or the looking of the looker into itself. Black pupils meet black pupils. Your black pupils meet my black pupils. We're not looking at each other. It is darkness. It is the mystery. It is the hidden aspect of it coming in contact with itself, bringing a completeness or a wholeness or totality of itself to itself as itself. We don't exist. We are annihilated in that process of itself with itself. We are completely obliterated in that process of it with itself. We don't exist in the existence of it with itself. You want to know what love is? What this L.o.v.e thing is? L.o.v.e thing is? This is what it truly meant. Okay? I'm just bringing you to understand what this thing really truly meant at a more deeper aspect of understanding, a metaphysical aspect, and occult understanding, OCCULT, occult, which means hidden, which means to cultivate, to bring about. It is something which is brought about by something that happened to trigger it and activate it to be brought about, to be evoked and then invoked and then evoked, to illuminate, to emanate, to radiate your light within you. You become found. Don't go looking for somebody or something. Be the one that becomes found. And just embrace that interaction. Appreciate the interfacing. Just be there. Be now in that experience, however the experience may come and arise and show itself. Okay? 2 more. The next line of doorway is L.o.v.e. It is innate or innate, not extrinsic. The deeper something resides within you and has an effect on you, the more important your responsibility is. the more you are responsible. This experience is innate. It is insidious. It is innate. It is not extrinsic. It is not external. It happens in you. It changes your chemistry. It alters your alchemy. You become a totally different elixir in your chemistry, within your biology, within your physiology, within your psychology. You become a totally different soup when this thing happens. And if it's affecting something inside of you, that means it has to be inside of you. And if it's inside of you, there is no outside of you which it resides at. There is no someone else which it resides within. It is all within you. So it is innate, not extrinsic. The deeper something resides within you and has an effect on you, the more important your responsibility is as a God or as a entity, as a deity that you truly are. So basically, the more you are responsible for your own path, for your own experience, from the foundation of your true existence. So be responsible, okay? And the last line and doorway is being in love, or in the love, you become a child again. Isn't that what happens? It's a lot of playfulness going on. You want to play. A lot of use of imagination. You can imagine your mate being in blissful love with you. A forever, never-ending love with you. In your imagination, you become less serious. You're not as serious no more like that. Like a child is. A child don't take things too serious. He just wants to play. Just wants to be. Just wants to use his imagination. Right? Spontaneous. You become spontaneous. You never know what you're going to do because you're in playful mode. You're a child again. You're having fun with your imagination again. You're not stuck in one position or one label or one name or one title. You are playful. You have a broad imagination. Like a child. You just want to play. And it's an enhancement of health. When you are in L.o.v.e, you have clearer skin. There's a certain kind of glowing that happens to you, within you and outside of you as well. You are glowing. So to be in love, or to be in the love, because the love is in you, you become youthful again. You become a child. All you want to do is play. All you do is use your imagination. Not against you, but for you. You're not as serious anymore about things. You're very spontaneous. You don't know if you want to hug him, be intimate with him, be intimate with her, kiss him, kiss her, talk to him, talk to her. All of a sudden, your health improves. Your skin gets clearer, and your aura begins to glow. There's a saying to the ancestors. They say that no matter how old you are, you never know older than the age of 7. Which is why you have 7 chakras, or what they call 7 chakras. And once you understand deeper than that, each chakra stands for 7 years. 7, 14, 21, 28, so on and so on. So it's 7 times 7. And at that point, or that number, is when you are truly let into the system of mastering of self. But nevertheless, you were still a child. So become a child again and embrace your childhood and adulthood, which is actually your true childhood. Enjoy your youth in as many ways as possible. Become young again. Stay young. That's true L.o.v.e. Amiasblu, as I am, as you are. See you guys next time. Until then, I'll keep you in vision. 1, 0.